Hello. I'm feeling like doing a vlog today, and I just want to share with you some of the things that I'm up to and what my plans for the near future are. And I've been focusing a lot on, I'd say, inner work the last couple of weeks, and that's why I felt like I didn't want to vlog so much. I was doing it for a little bit, but it just didn't feel right to share all the like intimate personal stuff, especially when I was working through it myself. And that's not really my style, I realized, to share all this stuff as I'm processing stuff in a way. But anyways, I feel like that phase of intense inner work is come to a close, or has come to a close. And now I'm feeling very motivated to actually create like business and spiritual things that have been on my mind. And that's the next chapter of my life that I'm stepping into. And as part of that chapter, I want to share with you my process, like what's actually happening. And what I've been working on creation-wise, besides the inner work the last couple of weeks, has been writing and editing a new book. And the first book I ever wrote happened last year when I just got this sudden flash when I sat under a tree, and it just was such a clear message: forget everything and write a book. And I just channeled this book through me, and I would put pen to paper and it would just write along. And now I feel like that's still how books come through me, but it's also important that I edit them and I don't just channel everything, but instead there's a combination. And what I've been realizing these last couple days is very similar to Steve Jobs' Connect the Dots speech, if you've ever seen that, the commencement address, where it feels like a lot of the things in my past where I didn't know how they all fit together are starting to become whole. And I see how everything is going to come together, or at least I'm starting to feel it and sense it. And so I don't see myself as someone that was all business for so long and then just had to give up the business to go into the spiritual world. But now it's like finding a balance and finding the middle ground where I'm not fully in the business world, I'm not fully in the spiritual world, I'm doing my own thing. And so I've created this plan that I'm excited to execute on that revolves around the books. So I got this inner message to just focus on the books. Like, the books are the most important thing. And when it comes to my purpose, when it work and how I can best help the world and be happy and satisfied, it's to get as many people to read the books that I write as possible. But I feel called to build a business around it and not just be a writer. And I see that as the ultimate goal. But I also feel called to do other things, such as make tarot readings on YouTube and to create online courses and to build an email list. And I have a whole strategy mapped out that was partly intuitive and then also partly strategic. So it's a balance between the two. So that's what I'm excited about for now. Before, I probably should have shared this at the beginning of the vlog, but oh well. I'm at this place called the Original Garden, where I'm staying at the Findhorn Foundation, which is a spiritual community eco-village. And this spot in particular I find to be a very peaceful place to relax and to sit still in stillness. And right now the weather is very cloudy, but as you can see from my face, I'm probably pretty tan, so it's not cloudy all the time. But I'm getting used to it because I really, really enjoy the sun. I actually enjoyed it so much that I got a sunburnt the other day. So bear with me, as this is the first vlog I've made in a while where I'm not exactly sure what I want to talk about. I'm just sharing whatever's on my mind, and I do hope it's more like a slice of life rather than this manufactured, here's what I'm doing, only the highlights kind of thing. And anyways, it's the quarantine, definitely feeling those vibes, you could say. And I'm getting the itch to move on. I feel that. And this place is amazing. I'm so grateful for it. And I can just feel that my body's like yearning to go to where my next purposeful place is. And I know Japan is calling me. And it just comes up so much. And it feels like I'm getting so many signs from the universe now. And I know partly it's probably because I'm focusing so much of my attention on it. But I just feel like I need to explore Japan. And there's so many reasons why that I can't even go into this video. But it just feels so right. And then I notice as I start to focus more and more on it, that as I go through my day-to-day routine, I just find myself surrounded by Japanese people or like the Japanese language written in a random place. And it just feels like because I focus my attention on it and because it's part of my purpose to go next, I keep seeing those signs and attracting those signs to me. And so I'm very curious to see how that next step unfolds. So I want to make sure I covered what I wanted to talk about in this first vlog. The first was the business books, kind of give you an idea of what I'm up to. And in future vlogs, I'll go in a little more detail about that. The second is Japan is calling me the strongest as my next location. And I could see myself spending a long time in Japan, potentially. I can't really say that until I go, but I just have this feeling. And then the third thing, what did I want to talk about? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I do just like being out in nature though. Just being surrounded by so much greenery. And the flowers and the birds chirping. And I love the bumblebees for some reason. And this place has got a lot of great nature. One thing I've been doing a lot to just spend my time here is watching a show called Avatar: The Last Airbender. And I love this show. I feel like this show is so wise. It's a kids' TV show, but it's teaching me so many life lessons. And I've been watching it, and then all of a sudden I get a really strong urge to start practicing Tai Chi. And the first Tai Chi video I look up, in the top comments by multiple people, they're like, oh, I came here because of Avatar, the TV show, and I want to learn how to become a waterbender, which is something you'd only get if you've seen the show. But it's like synchronicities like that I love. So I just did my first Tai Chi thing here in the original garden, and I can tell that Tai Chi is very likely going to become a daily practice for me. I love it. And I feel like there's something about Japan that's pulling me that I see also where I'm staying now. And interestingly enough, a lot of Japanese people are attracted to this spiritual community. And I think a big part of that is it's just so connected to nature. And I feel like there's something about nature spirits or seeing nature as this alive thing and connecting with it. And that's something that draws me a lot to the culture here and the culture in Japan. And another thing that I'm really excited about is trains, or our trains. So I've loved trains ever since I was a kid. And I didn't really know why, I just was obsessed with them. And of course, trains are a very big deal in Japan, very popular. And now I realize why I like trains so much. And that is because trains are so focused. Once they know where they're going, they're just laser focused on where they're going. And they can go really, really fast in that direction and are very powerful. And I'm realizing that the way my spiritual being works, or whatever you want to call it, is once I know what I want, I'm like laser locked on achieving it. But for so long in my past, I was asking myself, what do I want to do? Like, if you've been on this channel for a while, you've seen that I've tried so many random things. It seems like this channel was always changing. I would delete the videos, do new videos, delete them, do one. Trying to figure out what it is I want to actually like focus on. And I had that thought in the back of my head for a long time, where I've always known that once I know what I want, I can get it. I never doubted that. But the biggest question I've always asked myself is, what do I actually want? And that's been the hardest part for me, to figure out what I want. And I realize now, as I'm putting these thoughts together, that what I want is to connect everything that I've learned and to really just share these books with as many people as possible, the books that I write, because I know that they can help people, and it gives me great satisfaction to help people in this way. And all the books that I have written and I feel I'm going to write in the near future and future is all about self-empowerment. So I really feel that my mission in life, in a lot of ways, is to empower other people to believe in themselves and to actually go after their personal dream, whatever that thing is. Yeah, and so that's the biggest thing. I just see so much potential in so many people, and these books that I write or anything that I create, I want it to be a catalyst, because I feel like that's the most important movement in my mind at this time, is the self-empowerment movement. But one interesting lesson that I've kind of really learned recently is that it's only by pursuing my own personal desires that I actually am able to best help other people. And I'm not saying this is the way for anyone else, but I'm noticing for me personally, when I try to help others, it never works out and it leaves me unsatisfied. Whereas when I just do what makes me feel really, really good personally, it just so happens to be what I can best do to help other people. And I love the way that the universe is designed. And in that sense, I've really been learning how to pursue my own pleasure and make that the priority. And I find that very empowering personally. So this feels unlike any other video I've ever created because it's so unorganized. There's not one clear point I'm trying to make or talk about. But I'm just going to try this out as an experiment and see how it feels. So this is kind of the vlog, just make it up as I go. And it does actually help me to become clear on more things when I speak it out loud. So this is very beneficial for me, and I hope you're enjoying it. Hearing that little river in the background, or a fountain. Yeah, I just find it a peaceful area over here. And today, so I went in line to this coffee shop that I go to every morning, and I'll film it on the outside of the shop sometime just so you get an idea. And I go there and get takeaway coffee and breakfast. And I've been there like every day for probably at least the last week. Never any Japanese people there. And then today, as I start to focus on Japan more and more, there's just a lot of Japanese people stand in line right behind me. And I started talking to one of them. He's so friendly, talking about this pilgrimage that I want to do when I go there. And I'm feeling called to it. And it just gives me all this great information. I share my email address with him. And a couple hours later, he sent me this email with all of these incredible resources about Japan. And one of them is about hiking and biking through the country. And that sounds so fun for me. I just love that idea, that combination. And this idea of riding and then riding my bike through Japan, exploring, and then riding again. It's like a dream. It sounds so nice. And I open one of the articles, and on the front page is an article about talking to the trees in Tokyo. And personally, I feel such a strong spiritual connection with trees, and I receive messages from trees. And I really do believe that I communicate with the energy of the trees. And so to see that article, like on a pretty popular website, it's just like, oh, I love that. Something about that really appeals to me. Feeling so connected and at one with nature. So that was a beautiful experience that I wanted to share. And just a random thing that happened to me today, but it taught me a lesson, was after I go to this coffee shop, I usually get a coffee and a sandwich, like a breakfast sandwich. And a 5-minute walk away, there's this bench by the bay. And I sit by the bench and just watch the bay. And it really relaxes me. And then today I was really hungry, so I bought 2 sandwiches. And they're sausage sandwiches on a brown roll. And I go to sit down and I'm eating one of them, and there's this seagull that's just staring at me and gets super, super close. And I love to stare back at the seagull and just like watch it, because it was so funny. It would just pander like back and forth, staring at me, looking down at the ground and looking back at me, waiting for a chance to get some food. And I just found it like relaxing and curious to watch this animal. And then I forget about it, and this second sandwich is sitting right next to me. And all of a sudden, I feel this bird come right through my side. It snatches the sandwich and goes away. And it flies away with my second sandwich in the bag still, unopened. And I chase after it. And eventually, it takes the sandwich to the bay right on the edge. And as I'm chasing after it, it just lets go and flies away. But it did, like, break through the bag, and it got to my sandwich. And for me, I was just thinking, that is so awesome that the bird was so focused to find an opening where it could steal the sandwich from me. Now, of course, I was also bummed out because I wanted to eat that sandwich, but I just bought another one afterwards. But it felt like such a teaching moment from the universe, because I had no belief that that bird was going to eat one of my sandwiches. I was like, I'm guarding my food. I know where this food is. You're not getting it. But it was so laser focused on it that once it found an opening, it just got it. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I feel like sharing today, but it's been an interesting day so far, and I feel like my time here, every day interesting things happen. And through these small little things, the universe is always teaching me different things, which I find exciting. But I wish you all the best. I hope you're doing well. I am enjoying my time here, even though I am ready to move on. And I'll see you in the next vlog.